Hey everybody, this is Millennial Producer Tony preempting the podcast for a quick little message that we have got a store page up on the website now. Go check out some of our merch if you want to support us a little bit and wear some cool swag. So go check it out, podcastxyz.podbean.com, and show off your love for the podcast. Am I the crazy person? Well, I guess you gotta go now, don't you?
No, but
¿Dónde está Señor Winston?
when I'm playing hide and seek.
¿Dónde está Señor Tony?
Bookstores? Tony's coming over.
Oh, I think there was water. Who is
I-
Bismo Funyuns? Nothing?
Baby, it's cold outside.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but you can't suck on that.
Yes. All right.
Just like the disembodied head.
I gotta do my muscle warm up.
Welcome to the XYZ podcast. This is Millennial Producer Tony, joined as always by Gen X Brian
Hey, everybody. Good to see
and
you.
Gen Z Winston.
What it do?
You reminded me as we went to air, as if we're on the air, as we went to air, Winston's loosening up his face, and it reminded me of the Macaulay Culkin Home Alone scene where he puts aftershave. Yeah, that's immediately what I thought.
Yeah. I think he's the one that's dating Brenda Song, the girl that played London Tipton, Sweet Life, Zach and Cody.
See, now I know what that show is because I have children. Does Tony know what that show is?
I do because I have a
Oh, yes.
12-year-old
You had-
younger
yeah.
sister.
Well, she's 12 years younger. Yeah, it makes it sound like you have currently have a 12-year-old.
Oh, but yeah, my sister's
Yeah.
12 years younger. Yeah,
Wait, but is it right though, Tony?
yeah. I didn't say I had a 12-year-old sister. I said I had a 12-year-old younger sister.
No.
Yeah,
No, I mean-
you're right. Nope, I screwed up. Nope.
No, Winston was
No, I'm saying, is it true that Macaulay Culkin is dating Brenda Song?
Culkin.
Is that not
Yes.
his name?
Yeah. Doesn't he
Okay.
go by Mac now? Which is weird.
I think Michael Jackson just called him that.
I don't
But
know. I just saw clips of him on
Oh my
Celebrity
god,
Jeopardy.
they have a baby together.
Yeah, 2 kids. They have 2
Wow.
kids. No, Macaulay Culkin was just on Celebrity Jeopardy. He was going by Mac.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
where I think I saw him pop up recently. So you're telling me that Macaulay Culkin from Home Alone
Mhm.
is dating Brenda Song from The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody? Is that
Yeah.
what the show was?
Or the Homecoming Warrior is the other role that she's really famous for. Lots of Asian kids know her from that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
not
good to
Asian.
know.
I didn't watch the Disney Channel show, but I was like,
It's exclusive. It's a Disney movie.
What?
Winston has to. He's required to be up on all things
Oh.
Asian. Just
Yeah.
to, you
no,
know,
I just knew
I'm
she was the
obligated
hot.
to.
I just knew
Right.
she was the hot
Asian
Asian,
chick.
girl from there.
The dumb one.
And then there was the hot blonde girl from there. I don't remember either of their names ever.
you just- you-
Ashley Tisdale.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's Candace from Phineas and Ferb.
Right, which is
Yeah.
funny because I knew her from like watching Phineas and Ferb with my kids, and then I think they were watching High School Musical, and I heard her
Yeah.
voice.
Mom! Phineas and Ferb are making a title sequence!
I didn't know they were the two. Same thing with Family Guy. I watched Family Guy before I knew who Mila Kunis was. So when I saw her and I heard Meg's voice coming out of her, I was like,
You
that's
did-
awfully weird.
You didn't watch that 70s show before Family Guy?
No, I didn't, which is, I mean, I knew of the show, and had seen scenes of it, but never watched it enough to where, you know, the first 3 seasons of the Family Guy, I watched those like back to back to back, like binged them, and it was just absolutely hilarious. So, but yeah, I never really watched that 70s show. So when I did, and then I saw her, I'm like, that's weird. That's Meg's voice. Okay.
Yeah.
Great show. You watch that 70s show, Winston?
I'm not, but I know of the show. Like
Okay.
that's where Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis was on, right?
Topher
Like,
Grace.
Topher
Yeah,
Grace. Oh, that's Eddie Brock, right?
that was.
Yeah, it was
And
Eddie Brock.
And we can't talk about who's the now the disgraced incarcerated Scientologist, Danny
Yeah.
Masterson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is
I don't care about him. So I mean,
He didn't make me laugh, so screw him. No, he's doing time. It's not a good situation.
Dude,
what he did.
Cheap Trick did the theme song to that 70s show. I did not realize that.
I don't think I knew that either. Cheap Trick hailing from somewhere in Illinois. I can't remember. Winston probably has no idea who Cheap Trick is, or even
I
what
do
we're
not.
talking about.
I don't have a single clue as to who that is.
They are what, a 70s rock band?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
If-
yeah. I
if
would
you
never
were-
know that.
You're not up on your 70s rock band? You
Oh,
well,
okay. This is actually really good. Sorry
Okay,
to
what-
interject.
this is
Shout out to Beatbox Alcohol.
You make it
Punch
sound
flavor.
like they're sponsoring the show. That'd be
No, I wish they would.
Hey,
This is
Beatbox, if you want to sponsor this show, let
Yeah.
me know.
yeah. It's this is my beverage of choice for tonight. I don't have a
See if he's
bourbon.
spitting on himself this
It's box. It would be hilarious if I did. It's box wine. Tastes like it's fruit punch flavor.
See, that's
It's-
where it can't be wine. It's got to be like malt liquor. I don't know. I want to know what's in that stuff, but
It's like drinking a Capri Sun and then having like a weird like bitter aftertaste to it.
like Capri Sun's gone bad. That looks like a box that
Ish.
you get like coconut water at Whole Foods in. Is the
So like,
and
you know what it looked like? Just
box-
water.
Just water. Yes, it does.
yes.
I do applaud the cardboard. Plastic's out of control, but yeah, that's it definitely has that look. But I don't know how wine can taste like Hawaiian punch.
Oh, very easily, I'm assuming.
At this point, I don't think it's actual wine. I think it might just be alcohol. Like it has to be, right? I mean, see, like we're begging for a sponsorship here, and we don't even know what it is. So we're even telling people
We're
about.
horrible spokespeople.
And the drink is red on the inside, Brian.
Yeah, it's wine.
I'm not.
I was just you're gonna make a mess.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna have a montage of Winston spilling things on himself, I mean,
Well, it's not like you can hear it, so it doesn't really matter.
It's true. I want to go back to Cheap Trick.
yes,
Yeah,
Brian. So
Hmm.
Winston, once again, I'm just going to assume you've never heard of Cheap Trick.
never.
Okay. Which means, Brian, I want a suggestion from you, and then I'll give a suggestion so Winston has things to go listen to.
Dream
Oh,
Police, no
okay.
question. The Dream Police.
Dream Police?
Yep,
Dream Police. Okay.
Dream Police. That's one of the biggest.
Sound like something
Cheap
that
Trick-
come out of North Korea. Yeah, North Korea.
It does,
You
they-
dream too much.
Yeah.
They send the
Nope.
Dream Police.
They send the
after
Dream
you.
Police. That yeah, totally, man. That could be hardcore, but no, definitely that one.
The obvious answer would be, I Want You to Want Me.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I'm going to go Surrender.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Surrender. Great song.
Okay.
So,
For some reason, I don't feel that they hold as big of prominence in sort of classic rock history as they should. I mean, they had hits and they kind of weathered the 80s, and like
Oh,
we're
yeah.
still relevant, But fun fact about the Live at the Budokan album by Cheap Trick, the Beastie Boys sampled that for the start of their album, Check Your Head.
This next one is the first song on our new album.
Speaking of the Beastie Boy, I can actually give an update. I actually listened to stuff on the list. So
Nice, that's right.
that's
Wait,
right.
where I was
Winston is-
going with
Yeah.
this.
We
So
got
I
some
did-
Beastie Boys and some
Yeah.
Pearl Jam. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so I
fantastic.
listened
So
to
excited.
Even Flow. Really good song, but again,
That's good.
I knew of it through a meme, and that's why I went and listened to it.
Meme, not a video game. I would assume that would have been a video game.
Right,
Meme
but it's-
was from a video game.
yeah,
Wait,
Jesus Christ.
this is like 3 layers deep then.
yeah. It's people playing a skateboarding game, and he's dressed up like Jesus, and he calls him Jesus Christ, and then Even Flow play in the background every time he does a little gap jump.
On
And
what game?
Skate 3. It's like a
Is that-
old
is that-
2000 and something.
Is that Tony Hawk's thing or no?
No, this was an alternative after the
Yeah.
Tony Hawk's game sort of died out.
yeah.
Was it the Skate series that had the actual board peripheral, or was that Tony Hawk?
I think that's Skate.
I thought so.
Okay,
Yeah.
so hang on, we're getting away from the explanation of the meme.
Anyway, so the joke started with this guy dressing his character up like Jesus. He's wearing all white and he has long black hair.
Old guy who doesn't play video games. So this
Yeah.
is a video game,
Uh-huh.
and you can modify your
Character.
characters in the video game.
Yeah.
So dude modifies his character that's riding the skateboard to look like Jesus.
Yep. With a
And-
beard, long hair, all white outfit.
Sandals, even not the best.
No
skateboarding
sandals.
boots,
He,
but-
he
oh,
was wearing sneakers.
okay. Good.
But the video start out with like you see this entrance of a tiny little like corridor cave-ish thing, and then you see him like just running out, and then he like calls in his board, and it like snap into his hand like Thor's hammer.
Thor's hammer.
And like he jumps down and he just starts shredding it, and then like he hits this like jump and just covered his whole gap, and as he's going over the gap he picks up the board and spread his arm out to the side like a little cross while holding the board.
Nice T
And-
pose.
yeah, like a
Yeah.
good
Oh, I
T
like the
pose.
cross.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And then that's when Even Flow, or like the Even Flow is being played throughout the video, but that's
when the chorus is.
Yeah, it's like Even Flow. Yeah, and then the top of the video would say, "Explain this, atheist." Yeah, and
Yeah, Jesus flying through the air with a skateboard.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's how I listened.
And that's how you know. Oh man,
Yeah,
I've been thinking a lot about this lately, just with stuff I've been listening to about how and just random stuff. My daughter is recently. I walk by her room and she's playing Dave Brubeck's Take 5. I wouldn't expect Winston to know this for sure, but this is like a jazz classic. And I'm like, how do you know this? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't get into like jazz until like I was in college, and that kind of piqued my interest. But
If she was sitting there just casually listening to Zoot Suit Riot, then I'd be like, that's weird. But jazz is okay.
yeah, but you show that song to me, right?
Zoot Suit Riot by these
Because it's insane. It's just it was a 4 or 5 month period in the 90s where swing dancing just took over again for no
late 90s
good reason.
Yeah. Oh, that's
and it was such a short flash in the pan.
But people were into it.
There were swing dance clubs that popped up and stuff, and it was just like by the time anybody got into anything that could make money on it, it was gone. And it was just like, you're no longer cool by doing
it's
it.
literally a flash in the pan.
Yeah.
So I lived in Orlando when that happened, right? And you had Disney's Boardwalk, which had a couple swing bars, and then there was, I think, 1 or 2 downtown. So there was nights that I was out downtown with friends, and you'd see like a group of people going down the street, and they're totally decked out in their swing gear, fedoras, and the girls all have the dress. It was really funny because, like K-pop, you weren't casually into swing. Like if you were in, you were all in for that moment of time. It was just like, it was bizarre.
I was just saying, I want to jump on 2 things before we move on. It was Tony Hawk Ride that had a board that was your controller, and you just put it on your floor, and that's how you play the game. Like a little sensor to watch you kick your feet to move.
Oh, to try and do that.
Again, something that was just like wild.
Yeah, I heard an interview with him. Like he took that concept, like he was approached about that, and he took the concept and they like shopped it around to a lot of places, and they're like, we can't do this video game. And then finally, who eventually put it out? Sega?
Activision.
Sorry, yeah. So
people that make Call of Duty, right? Yeah.
So yeah, finally Activision came back and was like, I think we can do something with this. And then that went on to be like a humongous hit. But yeah, they were turned down several times, I guess, trying to pitch that game.
You talked about those dance halls being filled. I was at Disney's Boardwalk within the past year. I had a couple nights stay there.
Any Zoot Suit riots going on?
No. did visit Atlantic Dance Hall at the end of the boardwalk. Empty.
Oh, geez,
empty.
Man.
Me and my wife walked in. There were 5 cast members with just music blaring, and we're like,
"Oh man,
oh geez."
I think we're gonna just
back out slowly.
Yeah, like we're not gonna have any fun trying to dance in front of these strangers who are trying to work, and the drinks at the bar are going to be too expensive, so we're just gonna go ahead and go.
Here's your $20 cocktail. Enjoy.
I was just glad there wasn't a cover for it.
Yeah,
so it was free to come in.
Nice. Yeah.
But
at least you can scout the place out before you start paying.
That was nice. The place next door, which is Jelly Rolls, which is a dueling piano bar that I really did want to go in, was like a $20 cover charge, and I went, do you know how much money I'm spending to be here already? Like, I'm not paying another $20 to come in the door.
Yeah.
Like, nuts. $20 a person. I'm like, I really want to go, but I don't want to go that bad. I'll do it another time, maybe.
So if you would have been in that exact same location in 1998, you would have been packed, run over by fellas in fedoras and zoot suits and whatever the women wear for swing dancing.
I was there, not on the boardwalk, but that was my first trip to the parks was 1998 for my 10th birthday.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So it's not like you could go there to see the zoot suits, but like
they were on the boardwalk. So the boardwalk is off the parks, but yeah,
no, it's right behind Epcot.
Okay. So,
right.
But you're not going to end up there if you're in the parks. You have to specifically head to the boardwalk, though, right? Yeah. Yes. So because it's outside of the parks. But yeah, that's crazy. So 10-year-old Tony was in the parks in 1998.
I may have come across 1998 Brian.
That's funny.
And never known it.
No.
What were you doing in 1998, Brian? Let's start tracking our timeline here.
That would be I'm trying to place that if that is when I started working. I worked at Disney twice.
Disney how many times? Twice.
Bringing it all back.
Winston's been trying to work that into one of our.
It's been like 4 episodes without.
He's
them.
so pleased with himself right now. He's so pleased.
So in 1998, I was working at the parks, so that is entirely possible. Yeah, I was definitely working there then.
Yeah.
Don't remember much from that trip. I remember my dad was
You were 10.
well, yeah. I remember my dad was working for MetLife, so we got some backstage access at the Wonders of Life Pavilion at Epcot, which it no longer exists because MetLife sponsored that at the time. And I remember going to Animal Kingdom, which I didn't think anything of until a few years ago when I realized that
It was brand new then.
we visited in March. Technically, we were there for the soft opening of the park.
Oh, wow.
Because the Animal Kingdom didn't open until April because the official opening date was Earth Day of 1998.
Oh,
so I'm like,
wow.
okay, weird that I was in the park before it was technically open.
That's cool. That's very cool. Did we get here from Zoot Suit Riot? Is that really?
We did, yeah.
So Winston, have you listened to that song? So you've lit. That's actually
we have. You guys show it to me.
Yes,
Zoot Suit Riot?
Yeah,
we
yeah.
showed him the video because the video's bonkers.
Oh yeah. That's right. Right.
Mhm.
Okay, so you've listened to some Even Flow. You've listened to some Pearl Jams. You've listened to some Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
What Beastie
Yeah.
Boys?
Sabotage.
Sabotage. Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
Sabotage, and then also heard No Sleep Till Brooklyn because I watched Guardians of the Galaxy 3. But then I didn't know who it was. Yeah, I think I know that song. Okay, so maybe I've heard that song before.
It is funny because I do love the fact that you end up hearing this stuff one way or another, and I've thought about that a lot, and that's pretty cool.
Another one I heard today, "Free Fallin'" by Tom Petty.
Great song.
Oh, yeah.
really good
Classic.
song. Yeah.
We talked about Tom Petty on a previous episode.
Yeah, exactly.
This is
know.
like going down the list. I'm just
Yeah.
checking these things off because these guys are gonna at the end of the year.
Thank
These
God,
guys are
right?
gonna drive me bonkers.
I don't know. I don't know if this is on our list, but Gun N' Roses. Listen to them.
We have referenced
were
Guns N'
mentioned.
Roses. Do you know
Yeah.
something more than Sweet Child O' Mine?
No. No. I do
Listen,
not.
you've heard Sweet Child. You're fine.
You know
Yeah.
who Guns N' Roses is? Yeah, that album, that was another one of those where it came out and parents were a little frightened about this
Really?
rock music that was becoming so popular. Yeah.
Is it just two guys, Gun and Roses?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Slash is also there. No.
No, that sounds good though. I like it. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
really good. Yeah, it's a really.
I when I was learning to play drums, I would
Mhm.
put that song. Okay, I'm gonna go in pieces here because this is kind of funny. So Tony might remember this, but I'm not sure. Columbia House Records.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was a little too young for it, but I know what it is.
Okay. So Winston. Okay, I'm
Mhm.
gonna back this up and I'm gonna tell this in sequence. Columbia House Records would send you an envelope, and within that envelope
Mhm.
was a huge sheet of stamps. But on these stamps, they weren't for postage; they were albums.
Oh, what?
And Columbia House would say, you can pick, I'm going to get all the details wrong, but anybody that did this remembers the gist of this. You could pick 10 or 12 albums
Mm-hmm.
of these stamps, put them on the sheet, and you only had to pay 1 penny.
What?
Yeah. So you got like 12 albums for 1 penny.
No wonder they're out of business, right?
Right. But the kicker was then after that enrolled you in a club, and they would send you a new selection based on what your tastes were every month. And you either had to this is all through the mail. This is not online. You had to send an envelope back saying, I'm not interested in this month's selection, or they would ship it to you automatically. And then you pay then you get charged like $20 for a tape.
But how would they charge you? It's not like they have your credit card information.
They would send you a bill.
Yeah, you could just ignore it to not pay it.
And then they'd send it to collections.
Oh, okay.
It seems it totally seems like you could be like, that's not mine, and then just dispute it because there's zero actual like hard record that they could follow. But so,
it was like the beginning of spam mail and scams all at the same time.
Yeah.
Scapams.
It's
Spam
scam.
scams.
Yeah.
Spammy scams. So you would send it in. You're looking at these stamps. It's really like a huge page of stamps. It folded out multiple times.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, look, let me see. There's The Cure, Disintegration. There's Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction. There's Motley Crue, Girls, Girls, Girls. And so you see all these albums on these stamps, and you're like, I'd like this one, and whatever.
Right.
And you mail them off like a check for a penny or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And then, yeah, if you didn't say, I don't want this next hit, then I don't know how you, but they ended up going out of business because it was a bad business model.
Yeah, like who would have thought? It's
Right.
Like
That's an unnecessary but funny sidebar to say that then they moved into CDs. I'm not sure how far they went after that. But
Yeah.
one of my 12 albums for 1 penny was a cassette of Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses.
oh, nice.
And that was when I was learning how to play drums. So
Yeah.
I would put that thing in my Walkman and hit play and sit there behind my drum set with my headphones on and try and play every single song on Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction. And, one of the songs being Sweet Child O' Mine, which is funny that
Nice.
song has gotten as huge. Sheryl Crow did a cover of it, for crying out loud.
Who's Sheryl Crow?
Oh,
No,
no,
you're
come
joking,
on.
right?
Yeah, you
no,
gotta be
who's
joking.
that?
Oh, no.
You guys say this like I'm supposed to know who this is. Come on.
She
guys.
just got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame,
that
which
doesn't mean anything to me. I listen to K-pop.
Okay, all I want to do is have some fun.
that was 90s.
Is that the
Who's
lady
that?
that sing I Love Rock and Roll?
No,
No.
that's Joan Jett.
Okay.
If it makes you happy, soak up the sun.
Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Is that her?
That's Cyndi Lauper.
No.
You're going backwards into the
Okay.
80s.
See, I don't know. I have no idea who this is.
Okay, so
Okay.
oh shit, I don't even know what to say because I assumed Sheryl Crow is enough in popular culture that you would know who she is.
Right.
Not one of my favorites.
$20 right now. Ask any Gen Z. They don't know who that is.
Okay, this is
I
another
get,
one. we're
listen,
earmarking.
she did a song on the Cars soundtrack. You've absolutely heard Sheryl Crow.
Is it Life is a Highway?
No, that's
No.
Sugarland doing a cover of the original song by who sang "Life Is a Highway"?
Tom Crocker or Joe Crocker? Not Tom
No,
Crocker.
no, Tom
Petty.
Life.
Cochran. Tom Cochran? Cock Tomrin. Tom Cocky Man. Cock Mogglestan.
Okay, we're all wrong because I don't know
Cockelman.
I don't know what you said first, but it's Rascal Flatts doing the cover.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Sugarland.
Sugarland. No, yes, I meant Flat Rascal.
Sugar Ray?
Rascal Flatts doing a Tom Cochran.
Yes,
Tom
not Cock-
Cochran.
Yeah, Cock Tomrin.
What did Joe
Tom
Crocker
Cochran?
sing?
Joe Cocker sang "Little Help."
Did you
from My
guys not
Friends.
do what I said?
What is-
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
like, Tom
I was trying-
Cochran?
Yes, indeed, it is Senior Tom Cochran.
Oh, that's funny. But I thought
But
you
yeah,
said-
Joe Cocker sang a bunch of other stuff. A little help for my friends.
Okay,
Wow,
well,
did we get off track with that though?
Yeah. Speaking of music,
Sheryl Crow singing Cars.
Okay, wait, before we go on,
by Tracy Chapman.
what
Fast
song
Cars.
was it? What was the song that she sang that was in the car soundtrack?
Oh,
That's
I
what
gotta
I
go
just
back to
asked. That's
that.
the exact same question. I just asked him before you asked him that question.
Oh yeah, I was like, we got so derailed. I was like, I have
Real
no idea.
Gone.
Don't know that.
Real Gone by Sheryl
Come on,
Crow.
Winston. It's
Real
your favorite
Gone?
movie. It's your favorite movie.
Trying to think, Real Gone. I don't know. When did they play that scene? Was that when like he was chasing Sally?
It was
the
during the
Porsche?
repavement scene where you tuned out because
It was during the
Oh,
the
yeah.
pinstripe tattoo. No, I don't know.
Oh, I was
Okay, so-
repavement was actually a snooze fest, so I
Yeah,
did pay
right.
attention.
So you don't know who Sheryl Crow is.
This might have
No.
been at the beginning of a movie. This definitely sounds like it was during a race or the credits. It could have been a credit song. but-
Snoozeville.
News,
It
yep.
sounds. I just played like 3 seconds of it and went, sounds pretty good actually.
I'm not a fan of Sheryl Crow. I've got nothing against her personally, but I don't like her music. I always feel like she's singing out of her range. Like, I don't think she has a bad voice, but I think she's aiming for a little bit higher than she should actually. She hits it, but it just doesn't sound good in my ears. But that's okay.
Oh wow, yeah, it is the beginning. It's the very first song.
Called it. Okay.
There you
See?
go. So
I don't
again,
know when the last time I
it's-
saw Cars is either.
as always, through other means, Winston knows who we're talking about tangentially, at least here.
Yeah.
Winston knows who we're talking about tangentially. Brian had the music knowledge to begin with, and I correctly guessed out of my rear end Disney trivia. Perfect. It's the trifecta. You've reached
man.
peak podcast right
That's
here.
true.
I don't know where else we're gonna go.
That's true. Winston could bring up something about Star Wars that we hadn't heard yet before.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys, my mic disconnected, so I had no idea what you guys were talking about just now. Like I came back and it was just
Okay,
like,
hold on. Now we're peak podcast. I said, I don't know
There
how
you
to
go.
get any
There
better.
you go.
That was
There
it.
you go. Back it
I
up 5
opened
seconds.
my mouth.
There you go. Winston disconnects his microphone and headphones.
But
yeah.
Winston, going
Mhm.
back, imagine the audacity to run a business like Columbia House Records,
Oh,
where nowadays all you have to do is live in India and call an old person and ask them to buy a Google Play card and redeem it in some weird way.
Why did you redeem?
No, don't click it! No, do not redeem! Now, back then, you had to run a gatefold magazine ad.
Yeah.
It wasn't one page. It wasn't 2 page. It was a fold out ad.
Oh,
But you then
geez.
asked people to go get their scissors, clip
Uh-huh.
out
Cut
little
out.
pictures of albums.
Hold it. Yeah. No, you
Yeah.
licked them and put it on the thing. Yeah,
Oh,
it was
okay.
like, yeah, and they had so I did this with my friend Tom. I remember we were on the phone like, dude, what are you getting? I'm getting Depeche Mode. Okay. Yeah. What about this one? I don't know. I'm thinking about getting the Smiths' first album. I don't know. And we're like going back and forth trying to figure out what, because back then, whatever my friend got, I'd get the opposite, and then we could just trade, he could
Yeah,
lend me his tapes
yeah.
and I'd make a recording of it on my
Yeah.
other cassette tape.
But
So
the
yeah.
next step was not just the easiest thing to have done would be to put a penny in the envelope. Nope. You had to go to your checkbook and
Oh, you had to write a check, right? You
a
couldn't put a
A
penny.
check.
1
Yeah.
cent check.
cent
a
check, yeah.
1 cent check.
That just sounds stupid. Yeah.
It sounds in 2023.
Yeah, it
this sounds
insane.
archaic.
Yeah. And I participated in not once but twice somehow, and I don't remember the second one. I was in college, and now we've moved up to CDs. I only remember this because one time I forgot to send. That's what it was. They're like, "Hey, next month's selection is going to be John Sedaka's greatest hits or whatever."
Neil
And-
Sedaka?
Neil Sedaka, sorry, no, John Cicada. Neil
Oh.
Sedaka's hilarious. He's like Quagmire from The Family Guy. If you've ever seen Neil Sedaka sing, he's like giggity giggity goo. It's weird.
I've never watched him sing. Love Neil Sedaka though.
Okay, watch him sing and think of Quagmire, and you'll see it. Anybody
Okay.
out there listening, pull up a video of Neil Sedaka. Right? Yeah.
We're
That's John Cicada.
so far beyond
Okay.
Winston's
Yeah.
All right,
knowledge.
let me reel it back in. Yes, I joined in college too, only because I remember I didn't send the thing back that said, I do not want Neil Sedaka's, no, John Cicada's love songs or greatest hits or whatever. And so I got sent John Cicada's greatest hits or whatever it was.
Uh-huh.
And so I don't remember the 12, but I do remember distinctly with my friend Tom on the phone, figuring out what cassettes we were going to get with our Columbia House order. But that was it. You were like required to buy like 3, maybe 4 per year. And so basically they knew that if they sold you 4 cassette tapes
Mhm.
over a year at $20 a piece, they got $100. They've sent you nothing in merchandise.
Yeah.
So you're because they somehow like bought the publishing rights or somehow bought the rights to reproduce this music. So they had in-house duplication houses that just cranked out these cassettes.
Mhm.
So they had in-house duplication, so these things were costing them nothing to make, so they could send them out to you for a penny. But the fact that they would make $100 off you over the next year, selling you tapes that you had to buy, and then also ones that you forgot to say I don't want. That's how they made their money.
Were
That's kinda
they
insane.
like lesser quality albums? Like were they cheaper made, or were they could you tell if you went into a used music store and picked something up, could you tell visually that, hey, this wasn't a
No.
music store copy, it was a
No,
Columbia
I mean
House?
it looked professional enough, but I think if you opened up the J card, which was so Winston, so vinyl, how vinyl.
Mhm.
Did you guys hear me? Well,
Yeah.
technical
Yep.
problems.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
gee.
You're cutting in and out.
I got excited and knocked my microphone out of whack. You open an album and you have multiple, gatefolds there, and you're checking out all the stuff. So on cassette tapes, you had J cards, which were much smaller, more folded versions of the inside of a record where you can unfold it and it has the lyrics and whatever.
Winston, why were they called J cards?
Because it was the color of jade. It was green.
No, it's not
J,
Jade cards.
J.
J,
Oh.
like the letter J.
It's like the Joker card in a deck of cards.
No,
I love your guesses.
Have you seen a cassette and a cassette case?
No, not since I was like
Killing
what
me,
3.
man.
That was before my brain could comprehend what it is, though.
They were called J cards because the way they fit into the cassette case
Was like a
was
J?
a
Yeah.
J.
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh,
So
that
that
would make
was-
sense.
Yeah, and they would
Mm.
fold them up, and you would fold them, and you'd have lyrics and whatever. And so, if you opened up the J card and looked, I believe at the end of it there was like like reprinted by Columbia House
I
Records
see.
or whatever they did. Yeah, so I'm sure there's probably 10 documentaries on YouTube factually checking all of this. This is just anecdotally what I remember from my youth, because you'd be like, "Holy crap! I can get 12 tapes for 1 penny. I am in. Sign me up."
Right.
Because that's how you acquired your music. Your music collection was only as good as what you heard on the radio or what you then purchased and or copied from your friends.
Yeah. I was going to say, there was no Spotify back in the day, huh?
There was not
No.
Spotify, if you knew a lot of people that were willing to lend you their tapes to record, that's how you would get multiple things. But it's funny because I often laugh when I hear stuff that my daughter's been exposed to on TikTok music wise, and is suddenly into something that's old or whatever. I'm like, that's interesting and kind of cool. Back in the day, you'd hear it on the radio. You'd hear the song on the radio, then you would want to go buy it. So it's like, I don't know. I've been thinking a lot about that. Is like the ability to be exposed to a ton of music is kind of cool these days.
Right.
That was something
for sure.
That was something that was interesting too, is because you'd hear the song on the radio, you'd go to the music store, and they had listening stations.
Did you have those by you? I didn't have them in the Midwest, but I've seen them down here more.
I mean, I remember even at
In
you go to
Florida,
an FYE in the early 2000s.
For your entertainment.
And by that point in time, it was digital, and there was probably a touch screen. But at one point, there were certain, the newest albums, they would have sample versions that were in a system that you could just go put on a pair of public headphones.
Yeah.
And
I
listen
know,
to.
I know about that. It was in Loki. Yeah, they show a scene in Loki.
Oh,
where
that's
Sylvie,
that's right.
Sylvie
In the
went to
last
the record
episode of
store.
Loki,
It's kind of like that.
or that's a record store, but yeah,
but
That's
that's still a public listening thing, right?
you could put on headphones and listen to it. That's pretty cool.
But
They
that
don't
would
have
allow
that
you
anymore.
but that would allow you to see if you liked the rest of the album before
Yeah.
you bought it.
Which is funny now because they're like, no.
Yeah. That's disgusting. Why would you want to wear my headphones? Yeah.
Well, the headphones and the whole concept of selling an album based on trying it first. Now it's like, now it's the opposite way. Like
it's all streaming. Yeah.
Well, they throw everything out in there into the universe. And if something catches your ear, you're like, oh, what's that? Okay, I'll download that.
Well, we've sort of boomeranged back to where it started. I just had to explain to my wife the other day. I put on a record and it played a song, and I was out of the room doing something, and the record stopped. And I went, "Hey, can you flip that over?" She goes, "It's over already?" And I went, "It's a 45.
Oh, it's a 45. You got one song.
That's where B-sides come from. You bought a tiny sized record for the very popular song, and then on
what
other
song
side,
was it? Winston, when we say 45, right? Do you think of that? Because I'm curious.
I have no idea what that means. I was just going to say, what is a 45?
What is a 45? Tony's going to find this out. That's good. So you have your LP, your full size LP, stands for long play. And then you would have your 45, which stood for 45 RPMs. You actually had to change the speed of your record player to 45. And it was a much smaller record. And it was just, as Tony was saying, it's a single. So on side A, you have the A side, which is like the hit single. And then the B side was always the other song.
Which was something less popular.
Yeah, less popular, but they often, oftentimes you hear of it was a B side, or a double A side or whatever. But
they were small. And they also usually had a much larger hole. So you had to have an adapter that went in the center of your turntable. But the particular one that I was listening to, I've got a stack of old 45s. Like half of my record collection that when I started it was from my grandfather when he passed away.
A lot of polka records, right?
I don't think the polka ones came from him. They may have come from my other grandfather. They also may have just been picked up by me. I got a lot of polka. I got a lot of Lawrence Welk that personally collected. The great grandma with the alleged haunted house. When I stayed with her, that was like the thing that I looked forward to, was staying up late enough to watch the Lawrence Welk show. As a 6-year-old kid should not have been as excited to watch the Lawrence Welk show as I was. I was odd.
Yeah, so Winston, you shouldn't know Lawrence Welk. I mean, he was
No.
like an old people's thing. Like that's
I
yeah.
have no
Don't
idea.
knows that because his grandma liked Lawrence Welk.
He was like a music variety show for old people that the show aired on PBS. But like
Uh-huh.
Lawrence Welk was a big band conductor.
Uh-huh.
So he had, was it the Champagne Orchestra?
Sure, you got the
I
internet at your
believe
fingers.
so.
Let's find that out.
I'm gonna talk out my rear end
Yeah.
about Lawrence Welk now. He had this big orchestra that would
Seriously,
play
people
stuff.
are gonna write in. Like all the Lawrence Welk fans out there are gonna be like, "Listen, Tony,
I
that's
want
inaccurate."
letters.
Half of them are like in the ground at this point.
No,
right?
We
that's-
found
They would actually
our
write-
audience. It's 80-year-olds.
80-year-olds hip to podcast. Awesome.
Yeah. Whenever you get a chance to access the internet from the old folks song, send me an electronic letter about Lawrence Welk, please.
Electronic letters, hilarious.
But he'd play these big band numbers, or he had this group that was on the show that would sing and dance. And
Yeah.
man, there was this dude who tap danced.
Mm-hmm.
He was insanely. It was great.
But you're waving
Um,
that 45 in my face. What record was it that your wife did
So
not
the
know
par-
how to turn over?
The particular one I was listening to, the A side was Because by the Dave Clark Five. And the B side that I had not heard was an instrumental called Theme Without a Name, which was what I was listening to first. And I was like, man, this song's freaking good. But I know it's not the A side because I've never heard this. And then I
Well, I
flipped
mean,
it
that
over
was
and I
always
went,
the thing.
"Okay, this one."
Finding an awesome B side.
Yes.
B-sides are always good. I always enjoy B-sides.
So, what do you know B sides as?
K-pop songs that aren't the title song on the album.
Oh, geez, that's considered
Yeah.
a B side.
Yeah, like any song that's in an album that's not the title song of the album, then it's a B-side.
Interesting.
That's-
So, how do you know that term?
K-pop TikTok explained it to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I have no idea what a B-side was until they're like, yeah, B-sides are just songs that aren't title songs. I was like, oh,
You
okay.
know. Now you know.
Wow, it's
It
it's this stuff I find fascinating because it's something I assume people know, but then you take two steps away and you realize, well, yeah, there's a reason. There's no B
That we
sides.
don't, yeah,
B
exactly.
sides is a holdover. I mean, because I bought cassette singles, but like once, I was on kind of like when I first started buying songs, I didn't buy records because tapes were the new thing. So you would buy a cassette single and they would have a B side. So that's, but after that though, I don't, weirdly enough, this is totally weird and just popped in my mind. Fully had the single of Sheryl Crow. I don't think I had it. I think it was left at my house. Fully had the cassette single of Sheryl Crow's All I Want to Do. I kid you not. I'm not making that up. And whatever the B side was for that, I thought was pretty cool.
All roads lead back to Sheryl Crow.
I hope not. Because really, man, after her first album, I liked that song. All I Want to Do was cool. It was different, and it kind of sounded. It didn't sound like anything else when it came out. It was very different.
Yeah.
And whatever the B side was, I dug that. But I've heard stories that she was dating this guy Paul Gilbert, who's a musician. And again, all the facts of this could be totally wrong. So independently research if you want to know the actual truth. But she was dating this guy, and rumor was that he wrote a lot of the songs that became her first album, and she got big and didn't give him any credit. But I don't know.
She had a ghostwriter.
Well, yeah, since he was also a struggling musician, he didn't appreciate the ghostwriting part of it.
Yeah, he didn't know he was a ghostwriter.
Exactly. We'll have to research that to see if that's worth keeping in, because I'm not sure if that's entirely true.
Well, I was gonna say, so we were talking about music and stuff. I was gonna tell you guys about my my Spotify rap this year.
Okay.
Surprisingly enough, K-pop did not chart my rap. It was all
What?
Vietnamese
It didn't
pop.
chart.
Really?
It didn't. It did not chart. It didn't chart. But yeah, it was all V-pop instead of K-pop.
Vietnamese pop.
Yeah, Vietnamese pop.
Well, aren't you supposed to, right? Isn't that part of the...
Yeah, no, it's
Vietnamese-
weird. Like
Isn't that part of your contractual obligation?
Yes.
it was
By
yes.
birth?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've got polka, you've got V-pop.
Yeah, that's
We
how
all
it
have to
works.
listen to our quota for the year.
But I was gonna say, I listened to a lot of V-pop this year, so it like I think I really like what they did this year. I told Brian about this, but
They collectively, the Vietnamese or Spotify?
Spotify. Yes, the Vietnamese did a great job. The Vietnamese showbiz industry is going great. But I was gonna say, I love what I love what Spotify did this year, and how like if you're a top fan of somebody, you get a personalized message from the artist, which is amazing. Yeah,
Identified you as their only fan.
Yes. I wish she
It was
had
just a message that said send nudes.
yeah. But I was gonna say another really cool feature that Spotify did this year is they place you into cities across the world where the people that live in that city share the same music taste as you do.
Oh, that's cool.
Winston was mapped with Des Moines, Iowa.
I wish. I was typically enough. My music taste went to the capital of Vietnam because a lot of the artists I listen to is from there. Like it was North Vietnam. That's whatever.
North Vietnam is the capital.
Yeah, Hanoi is the capital of Vietnam. So I got the city of Hanoi as like my listening town and my music town. But a lot of my friends who are K-pop fans, for whatever reason, got Davis, USA.
Where's
Nobody
Davis,
knows
USA.
Exactly. It was like, what the hell is Davis, USA? And so it became like a thing on TikTok where people were just like, is it just me or are we all getting Davis, USA? Like just because we listen to K-pop, because it shows it's like, oh, people from this town also listen to these artists, and they'll like name out the artists. So it's like maybe it's like Twice, Red Velvet, you know, Le Sserafim, stuff like that. Yeah. So a lot of people were just like, guys, we might have discovered the streaming farm for all of K-pop or whatever out in Davis, USA. And then
secret line from Korea, North Korea,
right,
to
exactly.
Davis, USA.
So I did some independent researches because I'm like, what the hell is Davis, USA? I looked it up. It's in California. It's where UC Davis is.
I still don't know what that is. Okay.
UC Davis is a really big like college. I think in Central California ish.
You're just outside of Sacramento in Davis.
Yeah, so NorCal, so North California. But the reason why Davis, USA became such a big thing is because UC Davis is there, and a lot of the kids that go there are primarily Asian kids who are
must be a lot
K-pop.
of them.
Yeah, and so when they
you can
stream
tilt the statistics, man.
Yeah, so when they stream that music, it became like, oh, Davis, USA is where all the K-pop fans are located, and then it became like a different thing. So if you're in Colorado Spring, you're really into alternative rock or like emo rock, because one of my friends is into Pierce the Veil and stuff, and that's where Colorado Spring, like that's where all the fans go to apparently, like Colorado Spring. And then Berkeley has Twitter preferred them as gay artists, so like Lana Del Rey and like Troye Sivan and stuff. It's weird. But yeah, like so like music towns across the world, you having all of these, what's it called? But Davis, USA just make me laugh because like nobody know where Davis is.
I've never heard of that town ever. So
but
clearly that's where the K-pop all the
K-poppies go. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so that was it. But
what did it to compare you to, Tony? Did you get compared to? I'm not on Spotify, so I have no answers for me. But
I'm gonna so I did look at my Spotify Wrapped. I don't really use the service. I'm not a super big fan of it. The one thing that I do use it for is people's pre-made playlist for board games. So I'll throw music on whenever I have friends
very
over
niche.
doing a game.
This town is just like Middle Earth.
Listen, my top played song was played 3 times. It was some sort of medieval music from The Sims. So there was like a bunch of weird like medieval and Viking sounding music because of the games that I've played that this music's on the playlist. So my Wrapped data was whack. It was so bad. It was screwed. I just went, I can't do anything about
Note
this.
to any neighbors of Tony. like to hear medieval battle songs on a Friday night.
Yeah.
And your music town, Midgard.
Middle Earth, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Valhalla, Sweden, you know. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's
ooh,
I
oh.
was like, what the hell?
See, I'm lame. I only have my Apple Music Replay, which is not nearly as cool.
How was it? Like, what was your top artist? Do you have it?
It was probably Fish, which is a big possibility, but they're playing the Sphere.
Oh, Fish at the
Just announced
Sphere.
today. Fish at the Sphere. Not as good as Spears at the Sphere, but Fish at the Sphere.
Are they doing their Vegas residency?
Vegas residency, yes.
If they don't call the short stint that they do there the Fish Bowl, They're
That's a missed
losing.
opportunity.
They're
That is
losing
yeah.
customers. They're losing their minds.
That is
Yeah.
that is a missed opportunity, but yeah, it was announced, and which is cool. I got to see the thing on the outside of the sphere, like they did this little, animated thing.
Was it like a fish swimming?
No, it was just kind of a swirling graphic thing with some instrumental thing, and then their name popped up and said when they're going to be there.
Just an aquarium.
Yeah.
So you telling me Fish isn't a band consistent of a bunch of talking fish?
No, I'm sorry.
Fuck.
It's very disappointing. I know. Misleading.
Gotta refund my tickets.
We're talking about you're talking about the TikTok trends.
Yeah.
Have you seen the new Christmas TikTok trend?
Which one?
I was talking to Brian about this earlier. Last year, the trend for Christmas was to point out the lovely cardinals in all of the Christmas decorations and point out the fact that, Winston, you've seen enough Christmas decorations in your life. You get a lot of lovely snowy forest scenes. With, oftentimes there's like, there's two red cardinals sitting on the branch snuggled up together. Female cardinals aren't red. They're like a dirty brown. So it was very trendy to point out all of the gay cardinal stuff last year, and boy was I on board for gay cardinal season.
Oh, that's so
and
funny.
it was great.
That's so funny.
So what's the theme this year?
The trend this year, 2023's Christmas theme is it's a little red truck hauling a Christmas tree.
Tree on a truck. Tree on a truck.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Yeah. I did see it. Tree in a truck. I did see that.
Little red truck hauling a Christmas tree.
Who decides these things?
It's just people being observant.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying like they're obviously if this is what proliferates, who's making or is there just that lack of creativity? We're on board for this. This is going to be the thing this year. I believe that seems like a thing because like I noticed at Halloween last year it was spiders, this year was skeletons. But yeah, so last year gay cardinals. I love the gay card. That is so funny because like cardinals, one of my favorite birds. So I fully know like that's the dad cardinal, the red one, and then you also see the mom cardinal, which is not red.
No,
I'm gonna have to like check my parents' decor.
See if there's gay cardinals on there.
And if they are, that's great. That's great. That's very sweet.
Yeah, my TikTok page is ruined. I don't see any of that. I keep seeing the poop
I got
deli.
nothing. What?
The what?
The poop deli?
Poop deli. I thought
what
is this somehow off the guy sticking his arm in the vats of food in India?
No.
The poop deli from New Delhi? Is that
No, it's not. It's just it's this Italian New York kid. He's Italian. He lives in New York, and he just made a video. He was like, "Yeah, a guy who doesn't like poop goes to the poop deli," and it was just that, and it kept spiraling. And now you have like 80-year-old grandma going to like an actual deli and was like, "Yeah, can I get a bagel with cream cheese and some peanut butter and put a little smear of poop on it?" And it's always like that. It's just the
what
poop.
are you talking
Scoop of
about?
poop. It's a scoop of poop on the bagel.
What?
What?
That's exactly it. There's no point to it.
No. You've got to back up 18 steps from where you started. Take an additional 10 steps back from there and explain what in God's name you were talking about.
It's okay. So I'm gonna
explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old who hasn't seen a 5-year-old has seen the internet. Explain it to me like a boomer who hasn't seen the internet.
Can I just show you the video that started it all first?
Oh, Tony, how many times do we have to tell them that nobody can see this at home? This is
where it doesn't matter. They can listen to it.
They
can listen to it. It'll be fine. All right, where is it? Guy who normally order at the poop deli goes to a normal deli.
What is a poop deli? Wait. In order to understand this premise, I got to understand what you're talking about.
It's exactly what you think it is.
It's an imaginary deli, Brian.
Yeah, it's an imaginary deli that sell poop.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you.
Hey, the usual for me, quarter scoop poop on the poop bagel. I'm gonna do a bagel, everything, scoop it out, do a little lots, and throw a little poop on there.
Throw a little poop on it. But yeah, that's it. That's the video, and that spiraled things out of control. It's just all of TikTok is just now poop deli.
Oh,
listen,
man.
Just a little smear of poop.
I'm laughing. It's funny because it's dumb.
It's because it's poop.
That's
Poop
all
is
that
funny
it is,
at
right?
all
Dumb, and don't think I'm highbrow, man. I love a good fart joke or whatever, but that's not funny.
I think
The
it's
accent.
the absurdity combined with the accent.
Yeah,
I think that's it.
I couldn't
'Cause
tell
it's like
if I was hearing Winston laughing or if I was hearing them laughing.
no,
on their
that they were
videos.
laughing in the
That's
video. Yeah,
that's horrible. Their production value sucks. I'm like, this is, I don't know. This along with like seeing who's nominated for Grammys and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know who these people are. And I am fully open to like listening to new music, but for instance, I've been hearing and seeing Jack Harlow, right? Don't know who this guy is, but I've been seeing him in the atmosphere. I know this guy's a singer of some sort of music that I don't listen to. Over the Thanksgiving break, Jack Harlow was playing some football game halftime show, some Thanksgiving halftime show. And I listened to it. I was like, I don't get it. This guy, from what I have, I figure if I find out about these things, this person must be kind of awesome. You guys just drank in synchronization. It's too bad we didn't have that on video. It was very nice.
Right.
It was like synchronized beverage consumption. But I listened to him and I was like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And that makes me feel out of touch.
No, you
Listen,
just that's early onset of getting old, Brian. That's all that is.
Is that great music and I'm just missing it? Because I feel like
Jack Harlow sucks. But
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I feel validated then because I'm like, this dude is humongously popular. He's playing a halftime show, and this is the most mediocre half-assed piece of entertainment I've seen in a while.
Yeah. He's
Brian,
just not a good.
I'm the middle generation here, and I felt that way about modern music for 15 years. It's not been good for a long time. You get one or two outliers in there, but generally it all sucks.
To be fair though, you listen to like Middle Earth music, so it's like
That's true. Yeah. Well, you got me. What do you want?
We're coming from a guy who's got a playlist named Gandalf's Favorites.
Gandalf's Favorites.
It's either really good Middle Earth music or sausage recipes. I don't know.
That sounds like a euphemism of some sort.
Oh, that's hilarious. But yeah, no, I mean, the rap scenes is just not where it is, where it's supposed to be, like compared to the last few years. There's a lot of good artists. Just Jack Harlow is not one of them. He's like the entryway into rap. It's just like what all the basic,
Is he rap light? Flop. Well, no, I guess Rap Light was Vanilla Ice.
He's the rap that white girls enjoy.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like, girls that typically go to, I don't know, UGA, stuff like that would enjoy it. Yeah.
Gotcha. I just feel like popular music, like top 40 stuff, has gotten away from starting. You could see it starting to form in the 90s, and then it really took off in the 2000s, where there is talent there. Mm-hmm. For certain things, but I don't feel like it's a lot of people with musical talent. I feel like it's people with like audio engineering talent. They're putting together songs, but them as a musical artist performer don't have vocal talent or instrumental talent. They're putting stuff together, but they're not a traditional music artist. And if that's where the music scene's going, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But that's not what I'm here for.
Right.
And again, you have outliers. You've got your people. You've got your Harry Styles, you've got your Adele, you've got your Taylor Swift, who can sing. And there are people out there that can. But a lot of these things that I'm hearing on the radio, I'm going,
do you listen to the radio anymore?
Like, no, I was going to say, your first mistake was listening to the radio.
I know. But to me, it's like modern art. If I could put it together, I'm not impressed.
Yeah, if I can do
if it's noise and a bunch of words that I can say over top of music, that's not impressive. Yeah. Now, of course, they're going, well, you didn't do it. And I understand that. That's the same argument with modern art. Well, you didn't put a upside down faucet on a blank wall and sell it for $5,000. You're right. I didn't. I still think it's stupid.
Well, that's the point of art, is you can criticize it, right?
Yeah, but I think like modern art, I think the general public's perception of what this thing is, whether it's art or music, is just gone so far astray.
Well, that's what's amazing about TikTok is they can the way that they can launch a song and make it a hit. If somehow whatever the magic formula is to get something circulating on TikTok, you got a bunch of people listening to it.
Yeah.
As much as that like just is weird to me, I also know that similarly is how like old songs can get heard by younger generations. Like, I've only noticed that seeing it through my kids when they're hearing stuff that I couldn't figure out. I couldn't figure out how on earth suddenly you're listening to a jazz album from like the 1950s or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's cool though. I mean, I think I would have freaking loved it. I mean, because I was constantly on a quest for music, but you do have to sift through a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah.
But every genre of music, I feel like every genre of music has some amazing stuff in it. Just the bigger it gets, though, you're gonna have lame stuff. But I don't know.
Well,
Winston, see, by next week, Winston's gonna be growing a goatee and he's feeling real grungy, kind of start wearing some flannel shirts. And,
Yep. I'm gonna wear like a long sleeve T-shirt right underneath my flannel.
There is 100% a picture of
hair
me with cut. I had a pair of army fatigues.
Yeah.
Cut them off, made them shorts, and then I had long johns, white long johns under it. That is like
Jeez,
quintessential grungy 90s look.
Oh,
I mean, absolutely hilarious in retrospect, but like 100% of the time, you're like, I totally feel cool.
Yeah.
Seattle, man. And what was popular in Seattle? It's cold there. So the long johns.
Man, it is cold and rainy there. Seattle's a cool city, but man, the time I visited, it was in December, and it was like 41 degrees and rainy and drizzly.
Yeah.
Seattle was like New York City to me. It's like, that's a great place to visit.
Yeah.
You can leave.
Yeah.
It's not a place that you want to live.
Seattle is like seasonal depression, but all year.
But the folks that I talked to in Seattle, and this was hilarious because it was multiple people, and it's beautiful there. And they're like, yeah, there's like a month in the summer where it's amazing. Like, I'm like, but that's 1 month out of 12, man.
Yeah.
Like as if that 1 month of just absolutely the most amazing place you could live in made up for the other 11 months. I'm like, I don't think so.
I'm
can't do it, man.
Yeah.
No, I need vitamin D and I need sunlight. Thank you.
Yeah.
You got grunge music. That's awesome. The rest of the world thanks you.
I was gonna say, do you think when Tony's driving around in his car, he put on like middle-aged music just to listen to it?
That's another podcast where we go through what's on our playlist or what's on our phone of music that we listen to, because mine is all over the place.
Yeah.
But
I was gonna say, do you have playlists, or do you just kind of add everything into your like song and it just click play?
I'm old school enough digitally that like I don't have a unlimited plan. So most of the music that I listen to is local on my phone.
Downloaded,
yeah. So I actually listen to it through the music app. But
so you are held to what's on your device,
right?
Typically, now I have like YouTube music because I pay for YouTube Premium, so I can download offline listening for there. So typically I don't, unless I'm buying a vinyl, I don't buy music anymore either, because I'm paying for the service. I'll just download that album that I want to listen to and listen to it there. So
man, in 1993-ish, walking to class in college, right? I would put a CD in my Walkman and hit play and walk to class. So you had that album. That was your playlist for the day. You had that album. If you wanted to get crazy and throw another CD in your pocket, maybe you had a second one, but that was it. Like I'll be listening to this entire Alice in Chains album on the way to class.
I had a like a little music binder that I would keep in my book bag with my Discman that I'd listen to on the bus.
Oh, the binder. Winston, do you remember that? So the binder, you had a binder which were like these sleeves. You'd put all your CDs in. Then they had car ones. Okay, yeah. For what? Blu-ray for your games?
For PS2 games. That's what I did. Yeah.
It's
great. Yeah.
So we would have them full of music, and then the ones in the car that hooked to the visor so you could keep your CDs in there.
My dad had one of those, but the tiny one, not the double level one. He has the single one.
Yeah.
And those were just DVDs that was in there. So
in the car?
No,
or in your house.
In the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we don't.
Okay, so you do,
because like we don't get boxes. Like we don't get DVD boxes. We get like paper sleeve in a plastic bag, like the way like a comic book would come in nowadays.
Are those the bootlegs from Vietnam that you were telling us about?
Yeah, pretty much.
My dad had these drawers that you'd pull out, and there were blank tapes in. And then he had a separate binder, so all the tapes were numbered, and you'd go to the binder and be like, "What was recorded off the TV on tape number 3?" Oh, it was St. Elmo's Fire, Ghostbusters, and Braveheart.
Right.
And it was just like, okay.
People had to index their own stuff, man.
That's pretty cool.
People were more organized back then.
Yeah.
Because I totally had the tape drawers, 100%, especially after getting 12 fresh tapes from Columbia House. I had drawers. I remember I had
cassette drawers. You had the VHS drawers.
Yeah. So everything to store your media. So that's why, like, This way it's cool, but when you had to keep track of it yourself, I think you appreciated what you had a little bit more because you were really curating your own collection. Now that you have everything at your fingertips, it's like, how do you curate, you know?
Yeah.
Now I just go look.
I don't even curate my own stuff anymore. I let Spotify do it for me.
Yeah, AI's taking over.
Do you ever get a song? And this is, you know, so Pandora was really the first of the streaming services that you kind of listen to and be like, check out new bands. Now I'm like, if I'm listening to a station and I don't like a song, I'm like, this is lame. Next. Just because I didn't pick it out, it's like, you know, I'm open to new music, but I'm also super like, if I'm listening to, I'm a minute in and it hasn't caught me, I'm like, next.
No, I agree. That's what I do. I mean, I put on my playlist and it's just like, I'm a minute in and the song doesn't interest me at all. Yeah, just go next. You know, there's no point.
TikTok is conditioned. If you can't get them in the first 15 seconds, man, you're screwed.
Exactly.
Well, I wonder if we catch people within our first 15 minutes.
No, well, I mean, that's why we have our little code open stuff, right?
I guess. I hope everybody's enjoying that. We've been enjoying in putting it together.
Yeah.
Just snippets of our preamble before we start the episode.
Preamble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more of what we do in a condensed version. That is going to bring us to the close of this episode. This was episode 18. We're legal. We can vote. We can go to war.
Gun. Yeah.
Can't drink.
Can't drink though.
Can't drink. We can buy a lottery ticket.
Yep.
Can't drink.
You can go in a club, but not drink in the club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that was Winston going in the club.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Tell a friend. If you're enjoying this, let somebody else know, please. You can rate and subscribe wherever you're listening. That way you don't miss future episodes whenever they drop every 2 weeks. If you want us to talk about something, feel free to drop a comment, say on our YouTube channel if you're listening there, or go ahead and send us an email at podcastxyz, that's xwhyz @gmail.com. You can visit us on all of our socials. We're on Instagram, we're on TikTok, we're on YouTube. And as always, you can check us out at our home on the web, which is podcastxyz.podbean.com. And with that, we will talk at you again in 2 weeks.
See you, everybody.
See you later.